Hello, I'm Sri Banerjee, certified astrologer, and in this segment I'm going to be going over Chinese sexual astrology. And this is a unique type of astrological divinity, something that is not seen in Western or Vedic astrology, and that is that a lot of the constellations are what predict how Western astrology interprets the future. That's not the case with Chinese astrology. This is more of a kind of has 12 animals, and there's an order in the animals and how they're arranged. I'll explain about this a bit more in the next part of this. So let's go and get started here. So in the segment, I'm going to be going over the Chinese philosophy of astrology, 5 elements philosophy, and then sexual astrology by sign. So when we're thinking about compatibility, there's 6 life palaces or form unions that have a specific purpose and strong friendship connection. Similar to the soulmates and trines, these combinations come together to complete an important task or project within the realm of the palace they occupy. Each sign is coupled together with the sign found directly after it. The 6 in-kind place palaces are. So instead of actually starting with all the animals, I wanted to go in and kind of give you an introduction of what compatibility looks like in Chinese astrology. So creativity, rat, and the ox can work together on that. And this is because in the story, the rat was actually the one that was the victor in the race of all 12 of the animals. The rat actually threw the cat off from the back of the cattle, back of the ox. There was a whole race that took place between the animals, and this was the outcome of this. So they had to be creative. Accomplishment, tiger and rabbit, they're always looking to get to the goal. Esoteric pursuit, dragon and snake. Sexuality, horse and goat. And then the trade profession, monkey and rooster, and then family, dog and pig. So let's visit the 5 elements now. In general, when you're looking at all the 5 elements, not too different than what we see in Western. However, there are some slight differences. For instance, fire is there and water is there, and earth is there. Usually air is there, and wood can be thought of. Fire and wood creates air, and then you have metal as well. So here you can look at these. Water generates wood. Wood needs water to survive. Wood generates fire. You burn wood to create fire. Fire generates earth. Fire makes wood decompose and create earth, and fire is the magma that earth is created out of. And then out of the heat and the magma, out from the earth comes metal, and then from the metal, again melting, water is created. So this is a vicious cycle, not a vicious cycle, the cycle on the earth, and then you can use fire to overcome metal and melt metal with fire. And so these are all elements that are working together. Now these elements are designated with each animal within the Chinese zodiac. So before I go into sexual astrology, I wanted to orient you with some of the basic meanings of the phrases that are used often. So I'm going to go through the list of these. Jade stem is penis or ambassador. Jade gate is vagina or heavenly palace. Red lotus peak is lips. Twin white peaks is breasts. Flowery pool is mouth. White tiger's cave or jade vein is vulva. Palace of yin is uterus. Inner door cervix. Jade fluid is saliva. And then more teachings of the Jade Garden. The flood of yin tide is female orgasm. Surrendering is male orgasm. Yu Hing is penis. Mil Jing is semen. Pearl on the jade step is clitoris. Clouds and rain, sexual intercourse. Sexual tigress, a female Taoist who sought to retain youth, perfect physical restoration, and attain enlightenment through specific sexual practices and disciplines. And then courtesan, an intelligent, respected, and highly educated woman who was a professional companion. Her company was a sign of high social standing, and she was well versed in poetry and writing, as well as in the Tao of love. So a lot of these are Taoism or Taoist practices. These are very similar to tantric sexuality as well. I've also studied that extensively. So when you're thinking about how often a man should orgasm, depends on age, according to Taoist tradition. And so if you're between 15 to 20 years, once a day, 20 to 30 years, every 2 days, and then 30 to 40 years old, every 3 days, 40 to 50 year olds, 4 days, for 50 to 60 year old, every 5 days, for 60 to 70 year olds, 10 days, and then 70 to 80 year olds every 20 days, and then 80 to 90 year olds every 40 days. So there was a formula for this, and so there was more of these meanings from the teachings of the Jade Garden. The Jade Dragon being co-partnered with the sexual tigress to practice and perfect physical restoration and enlightenment through sexuality. So after 3 years, this companionship would be reevaluated. And then the Green Dragon is a man whose only purpose was to give the sexual tigress sexual pleasure, variety, and vital sexual yang qi. Let's look at the model now that looks at human sexuality. Now, on the right, I have the Masters and Johnson model that only has been around for about 70 years, and then the 4 yang attainments. And I want to show you the comparison and how this is not the Taoist understanding was not was not too different from each other. So looking at the 4 yang attainments: lengthening, early arousal, dilation, firming but not fully erect, hardening, full erection, orgasms possible, and then flash point of ejaculation. Ejaculation, and this is important, ejaculation and orgasm are not the same. So a lot of the practices were about breathing techniques to understand that a person can orgasm without having to ejaculate. Orgasm was an energy gaining conclusion, and whereas ejaculation is a kind of energy losing. So this was interesting. There were jade gates and then jade steps. So what I'll do here is explain the jade gates first, and the jade gates are the actually the female genitalia. Before I go into it, there was another system of understanding the sexual act, and that was more of the water stages. Now, in Chinese practice, water is considered the sexual energy of females. So in the water version, lubrication, orgasm, and ejaculation originating from what is known as the G-spot and manifest abundant fluid was important. So then let me explain about the 3 jade gates that I was telling you about, the genitalia area for females. There's the jade door. So this is a short vagina, no more than 5 inches long, and women in a small stature. And then jade gate, a medium vagina, 7 inches long, usually found in women of medium stature with wider hips. And then jade courtyard, a longer vagina of 10 years or more, usually found in women of a larger stature with ample breasts in proportion, stem and gate size and compatibility. Jade gate medium goes with the thunder, wind, water, or fire jade stems. I'm going to go over the jade stems in a moment. Jade courtyard large goes with the 2 jade hammers, the mountain or heavenly jade stems. So in summary, there's the jade door, the jade gate, and the jade courtyard. And so there is compatibility with the different stems. Then understanding all the jade stems, there's actually 8 of them here. And you can take a look at all 8. I can briefly go over these. The low valley stem, it's 3 inches by 7 inches, short and very thick, youthful yang in there. This type of penis is quick to become aroused but slow to climax. The stem represents the mouth. Its owner is a verbally seductive, smooth talker and has many sexual partners. The earth-ruled period of Indian summer is this peak time for romance. The earthly stem, 4 inches by 3 inches, short and thin, absolute yin. This type of penis can be slow to become aroused but responds nicely if stimulated. This stem represents the digestive system. Its owner is a nurturer, very giving and quick to become involved. The water-ruled period of winter is his peak time for romance. The thunder stem, 5 inches by 5 inches, medium and medium, mature, yang, positive. This type of penis resembles a skyrocket as it is quickly aroused but rapidly dissipates. This stem represents the feet. Its owner is physically active, seeks quick stimulation and resolution, and may make promises in the heat of passion that he later has trouble fulfilling. The fire-ruled period of summer is his peak time for romance. The wind stem, is 6 inches by 3 inches long and thin. And that is aged yin. This type of penis has staying power and seeks extended and intense stimulation. This stem represents the upper thighs. Its owner seeks to be in close physical proximity with women, but may consider relationships closer than they really are. The wood-ruled period of each spring is his peak time for romance. And then there's 4 more types. The water stem, and that is 6 inches by 4 inches long and medium thick, and medium yin. And then this type of penis is hard to read and mysterious and prefers slower extended sex. This stem represents the auditory system. Its owner is a listener, which is how he endears himself to women. The wood-ruled period of spring is his peak time for romance. And then the fire stem is 7 inches by 5 inches, very long and medium thick. This type of penis needs very little stimulation and can have trouble lasting as long as he and his lover would like. And this represents the eyes, and the metal-ruled period of late fall is his peak time for romance. And then the mountain stem is 8 inches by 5 inches, extremely long with medium thickness, youthful yin. This type of penis seeks frequent stimulation, has staying power, and is slow to climax. This stem represents the hands. Its owner is helpful and impassioned and enmeshed with the lover. The water-ruled period of winter is his peak time for romance. And then finally, the heavenly jade stem is 8 inches plus by 7 inches, extremely long with greatest thickness, ultimate yang plus. This type of penis seeks intense and frequent encounters and is bold and assertive. This stem that represents the face. Its owner is a smiling charmer and uses his expression to seduce. The fire-ruled period of summer is his peak time for romance. Then as I talk about yin and yang, yin is considered dark, night, cold, weak, retreating, and then yang is light, day, hot, strong, advancing, summer, active, awake. And then there's actually 60 types of animal versus the element that it represents. So because there is 12 animals and then 5 elements, then 12 times 5 is 60. That's why there's 60 combinations. And that many years, it takes 60 years for a cycle. Some people say that since Jupiter takes 12 years to make one revolution, this is comparable to Jupiter's revolution. And finally, the years and even the minutes of the day and hours of the day are ruled by certain animals. For instance, from 11 to 1 o'clock, the rat rules, and then 1 to 3, the ox rules, 3 to 5, the tiger, so on and so forth. So this is a representation of the day. And in summary, there's sex commandments. For instance, when you're sick, you shouldn't have sex. When you're intoxicated, when you're in temples, cemeteries, churches, you shouldn't have sex. So this sums up the introduction to Chinese sexual astrology. I hope this has provided you with insights. Thank you for listening.